3 years of constant opposition to an unacceptable development, and say thank you to the people of Aveley for their determined and declared protest. In particular, I must thank local resident Teresa Webster for her efforts with the petition, and of course our Member of Parliament, Jackie Doyle-Price, who lobbied the Secretary of State and spoke out at the inquiry with me about this pernicious nature of this plan. As we all know in this chamber, being a councillor can be a very thankless task, but you cannot help but feel vindicated when a shoddy idea like 500 houses being slapped up on one of our last great playing fields of Thurrock is rejected. Sadly for Thurrock, common sense only prevailed in government when it was lacking on its very own committee. I think I speak for all of Aveley, of all political persuasions and none, in saying the Secretary of State and Planning Inspector, thank you for recognising the inadequate nature of this application and for listening to our real concerns about the impact it would have on a place we call home. The fact that the club was rejected as a site for housing on the council's own development plans seems to be lost on some of the members in this chamber. This development contravened all of this borough's planning objectives, and the lesson here is if we start unpicking planning policies which prevent urban sprawl to appease developers bearing gifts, then we may as well rip up the local plan and let builders just run riot. Everything about this proposal was insufficient and lacking, everything from the protection of our rare grasslands, the ill-thought-out access to and from the site, especially onto the A13 and to the Tank Hill Road junction. Developing on a natural floodplain in the area of Perfect Road, well known for flooding, and inadequate levels of affordable housing. But I reserve my criticism for the planning committee and the more Conservative members killed off the Brett's Farm proposals on facts. We killed off the Ponds Farm 2 proposal based on facts. And the point is, our planning committee should have killed this off on facts. You cannot roll tanks onto playing fields in Aveley, pillage its earth and give the majority of goodies to groups and venues not in the area. Certain members of the planning committee apparently backed this development because of a nice little package attached to it, including the chair. That went against our own policies. That went against the considered opinion of our own planning officers. And that decision was based on Section 106 agreement that was not fit for purpose. And if you are in any doubt, I suggest you revisit the words of the planning inspector, that the contributions to Bellas Park and Treetop School was not correct interpretations of a community contributions legislation, and therefore would be unlawful to take them into account. All members of this chamber should remember that the 2010 Collison report still haunts the planning process in Thurrock. It taints us all when councillors' motives for making decisions flies in the face of common sense, natural justice and prescribed policies which we put into place to protect the borough. Should any further applications be put forward for the development for this land, I hope planning committee members bear that fact in mind. In conclusion, I once again thank the grassroots of Aveley and members of Parliament for doing everything possible to prevent an unacceptable development from becoming an